All right, we're live. Let me make sure my mic's all set and stuff. Okay, yeah, we're live. So I'm Joshua Kemble, and this is my live stream. I've been a graphic designer and illustrator for about the last 20 years. And when I'm not doing graphic design or illustration, I work full time as an art director. I've been doing that for about 7. And when I'm not doing that, I am working on graphic novels like Jacob's Apartment, which is a coming of age graphic novel about two roommates that are polar opposites. And through rough life circumstances, they're both in their early 20s. And through rough life circumstances, Jacob finds out that his father is diagnosed with cancer. Sarah is reeling from a broken relationship. And that causes them both to spiral. It causes Jacob to kind of start questioning his belief system, namely like a lot of really heavy theological questions about Christianity. And Sarah, meanwhile, is sort of struggling to navigate relationships and curious if there's something deeper. And so both of them, as they're having these rough times, are find themselves drawn together both in reality and dreams. Jacob has these weird dreams where he sees himself as a childhood toy. Sarah keeps having dreams of drowning. Their dreams start interweaving with reality in a comic that's kind of like if you took Eternal Sunshine for the Spotless Mind, put it in a blender with Ghost World. If you like that flavor, you like that kind of indie slice of life feel, you should pick that up. And then there's Two Stories, which is my graphic novel that tries to destigmatize conversations about mental illness, talking about my journey learning how to deal with depression, caregive for somebody with panic disorder, and growing up in a religious school and kind of learning how to deal with hypocrisy at a really young age. And it juxtaposes that with two different styles. So that's Two Stories, and that's available too. So as this stream goes on, I'll play video trailers for those. But that's my wares, that's my books, and I'm eager to get into what we're going to be working on tonight because my goal tonight is to work on some comics. So I am all caught up on, I finished coloring page 71. If you want to see a little bit of that process, you can go to Gary Hodges' channel and check out his stream from this morning. I kind of hung out with him. We had a really good conversation. And he's finished D versus M, the latest issue. And so he's kind of reeling and kind of dealing with, I shouldn't say reeling, that's leftovers from my pitch, but he's kind of dealing with all the aftermath of like finishing a really long project and kind of like having to go through it and edit and stuff like that. It was a fascinating conversation, but it was cool. And it was also a great way for me to get some work done. So I finished page 71 there. I'll show what that looks like. And what we're going to do tonight is start roughing out the next 5 pages. And my hope is to actually rough out one. Once I've roughed out one, then possibly I'll take a little break, maybe play a game of Risk live. I still have to earn back my expert status and get from expert to master to grandmaster. But I used to be ranked master, but I've just had a stroke of very bad luck on my last few games. And so I need to go from, at this point, I think I'm intermediate ranked, which is no good. And I can do better. So anyhow, I think I might play some of those games tonight as well. But we're going to get into it. It's going to be a long stream. Good evening, Philip. Philip Chandler is joining us. How's it going? So today, I forgot. I got our daily stream thing here, but we usually have. Interesting. Okay, let me see if I can add it in because I used to have. Let's see if this works. I used to have a pretty cool little setup where I had the part of the script so you guys could see the script. And I have failed you all. I have failed you all severely. So let me see if that's still here. If not, we'll just add it in. So let's see if we can do. Let's see if I can add that in. I'd like to show you guys like on the bottom below here, like right down here. It'd be cool if you guys could see the section of the script that I'm working on. I used to have that set up, so let's see if we can do that. We'll do window capture. Okay, let's see if we can find this, and I'll see if I can find the this would be under pages. Can I do that? I'm trying to get this all set up for you guys so we can kind of check that out. I don't think that's the right thing. I used to have this all set up nicely, but it's been a while since I've done roughs with you guys. So window capture was not the trick, from what I gather. So we're gonna have to try a different one. Let's see. If it's not window capture, I wonder what it would be. It should be window capture. I just have to find the right thing. It's not the status indicator. Ah, yes, there it is. Okay, boom. That is huge. Do not worry. I will adjust it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put this down here so you guys can see the section of the script that we're working on. Yes. All right. And I mean, you're not going to see the whole section, but at least this will give you like a rough approximation. And maybe I can move that down so at least you still get a little bit of that. Okay, that'll give us a rough approximation of the scripts. And then I'll just pop this below and we're good to rock and roll. Because that's what we do here. That is what we do. Adam said, sorry, Thomas Adams. I thought it was Adam for a second. Thomas Adams said, "Evening, Josh. The art casters this week was like the parents were away and the kids were in charge." 100%. If you guys want to see a riot of an art casters episode, check out the art casters episode with Paul Pate, where we read the track listing of our band New Direction, and many obnoxious like junior high jokes were made. It was the classiest. I would say it was a class stream, like the classiest stream you will ever hear. But if you want to hear Jim Lujan, Gary Hodges, Paul Pate, and I riffing on each other, as well as a lot of really cool conversations about Paul Pate's books, the Detective Perez books that I really enjoy. We got to talk about writing mysteries and stuff like that, but it was a really good episode. I encourage you guys to check it out. Thomas, thank you for checking it out, and hopefully we didn't get too wild, because we're kind of crazy, immature people. When Jim and I are able to kind of riff, and then Gary's in the mix, it's just like we're not going to be not joking. I think we share a really similar sense of humor, and so love it or hate it, that's what you got. All right, so I have page 72 here, and I'm going to reduce it because page 72 is actually let's see here. So page 72 is actually going to be inspired by the previous page. So it's going to have the same setting. So I like to have the previous page up when I'm working on roughs. And I'm doing these in batches of 5. Oh, I should mention what I'm working on. So this is Not Death But Love, the strange supernatural story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. And this is a historical fiction graphic novel about the Brownings. And what I'm going to be doing right now is reviewing the script and then kind of breaking down the page to a thumbnail and then a rough. Yeah. Okay. Philip Chandler said, "Any sales on those keychains?" So I think Philip is referencing. So where I work at my day job, we did a really hilarious. I usually don't kind of mention where I work, like on my social media. It's just like a work life separation kind of thing, and everything I say on these things, I don't want it to reflect at all where I work. So keep that in mind. Nothing I'm saying reflects my workplace, but. We did a April Fool's video for a 10-pound keychain. And it's got like a sketch and everything with it. And so the idea is like to kind of have some fun and riff on like we were trying to think of like, because we do a lot of pins, keychains, magnets, souvenirs, promotional products, stuff like that. And we were thinking like, what would be the most absurd promotional product? And we were like, well, I guess it would be like, the bit that we came up with was like people are constantly losing their keys because their keychains are too light. So we'd make this like heavy keychain that people couldn't lose. That's kind of the bit, and then it kind of became this whole ridiculous sketch. But I was really proud of that. So thank you, thanks Philip for checking that out. Eddie is here and said hi to Philip and Thomas. How's it going, Eddie? And then Philip said, yeah, I saw your post on that. I checked it out and got a good chuckle out of it. That's good. That's the point of it. So I appreciate that. Thomas said, my family needs that for TV remotes. Yeah, I think that would be great. Okay, so we have to kind of get into doing some roughs, and this might actually luckily this page won't, at least this current page won't require a lot of research. Quite a lot of these Eddie Sedgwick said I thought making indie comics was your job. No, so I'm a full-time art director, and I work with a design team and stuff like that during the day, and then when I'm not working during the day doing that, I'm doing freelance illustration, graphic design, and then I also do indie comics. So I'm a busy guy. but yeah, making any indie comics as my job, I don't know if I'd want it as my job. Like I like making them, but the kind of comics I like to make really weird artsy comics, and so like I don't know if that would be the best living in general. but yeah, anyhow, that's yeah. Okay, so let's see here. But I do enjoy my job. Like I get to make really cool like tchotchkes and stuff for like different museums and like locations across the US, and it's really fun. It's like tons of art, tons of design. It's constantly moving, constantly different. It's it's fun. It's fun to make art that's like all over the country too, that people don't know you've made. That's fun too. I annoy my friends and family if they go on vacation, because I'll be like, did you get a keychain while you were there? Because like there's like a high likelihood that I or my team have worked on those. But anyhow, it's just a fun kind of creative thing that, and I've thought about this for a while. Before even becoming an art director, I wanted to get a creative job that was separate enough from comics to where I could really focus and feel energetic and passionate about the comics that I do. And so like I'm really glad that I kind of found that. But yeah, anyhow, let's see. Okay, so we're gonna rough out this page at this point. So just to like recap where we're at, and this is for me as well. The last page said, basically, I don't know if you guys have been following this so far, but basically, Robert and Elizabeth had Robert had a skeleton that he had brought. And Elizabeth basically asked him why he had this live skeleton. It's kind of a funny bit. He ends up dancing with the skeleton and stuff when she asks him to take it out of the house. But she's mainly asking him to move it because she has guests coming. So now we have Elizabeth being visited by Mrs. Reimer, who's a character from the seance scene earlier on, and Mr. Home, Daniel Douglas Home, who has already kind of had uh, like social faux pas moments between, like, social tension has grown between Home and Robert. Robert is a skeptic and was at the seance and was very, like, curious about it and wanted to ask some questions about it. Holmes sort of shut him down and sort of did the typical kind of huckster thing where he's like, well, I can't reveal those things, and like the spirits won't show up if you investigate like what I'm doing. And so Home has also been a little petty about Robert's writing, and so they've had these little exchanges. They're very subtle, like Victorian exchanges. I don't know if you guys have seen like Pride and Prejudice or something, but it's like the kind of the smack talking is very subtle. It's very, like, very just being impolite is kind of where it's at. So that's the backdrop. Now Elizabeth, however, really is interested in Holmes' um, explorations of the unknown, partially because her brother died at sea. And so she is, I mean, at this point, it's kind of suggested that she might be kind of interested in reaching out to the dead because she wants to hopefully, like, contact her brother. And so she is having Mrs. Reimer, who's her friend, and then Home over for tea. So on this page now, they're talking about longing for a visit, and it's like this kind of formal conversation. And then at the end, Robert walks in and does not look pleased. Dun dun dun. So anyhow, Robert walks in. There's quiet and quiet as the tension's going to build. So this next page, that tension's going to pay off. So I'm kind of walking through this in my head, not just for you guys to recap, but just so that I'm remembering the emotion and like what is being conveyed on this page. So as usual, when I do these, I'll do a real quick thumbnail. But before I do a thumbnail, I'll usually make a list, a little list of words of like what I need to do. So I'm going to move this. We have this page. I need to put my guides back on because my guides are going to show me. Okay. My guides are going to show me which page. This is going to be a, let me make sure this is the right facing page. Yes. Okay. This will be a left facing page. Okay. And I have my printout of the last page here too, just so that I can like see how the sequence is going. So at this point, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay. So the text, man, I'm having trouble pronouncing words today. The text is anyhow. Okay. The text, not the twext. The text is for page 72. So it is Robert. He's just walked in the room. So this is the panel it's continuing from. And he's going to be saying, my apologies, I didn't realize. So one is going to be Robert speaking. I'm guessing his hands are going to be up. Because I'm thinking, like, if you walk in, you'd be like, oh, whoa, my apologies, I didn't realize. He notices Home. And his face darkens. Okay, this is one of those things that in a script is like easily written, but how do I show that? So now I need to have him. 2 is Robert. Let's see, over shoulder shot. Behind Robert at Home. Okay. So then it's saying he notices home and his face darkens. So it's almost like 3. We're probably gonna have to boil this down to like less, but man, there's so much here. So 3, face angered, close up. Man, I can't even write today. Angered, close up. Okay. 4 is Mrs. Reimer. Hand to Robert. Robert grasps. So I think that like there's a lot of action going on here, and I'm kind of thinking it's going to need to be boiled down into something more simplified, like the hand grasping, her offering her hand. I think that it'll speak if it just goes from his face being kind of angry to her hand being out and him holding the hand. We'll see once we kind of start roughing it out and sketching. He turns toward home as if willing himself to do. Okay. And then Robert speaks. So that needs to be all one panel, I think. That's going to help condense it. So Robert's going to speak. He's going to say, "It's good to see you. I hope you are well." He turns towards home as if willing himself to do something extremely distasteful. Mr. Home extends his hand to shake. This is tough. There's so much going on here. Okay. It's funny. It's like, again, like in a script, some of this stuff may not seem that hard. Let me go ahead and move this up too, so you guys can hopefully see little bits of the script. Okay. And then we'll move this, not this, but this up. Yeah. I mean, you probably won't be able to read it, but at least that gives you an idea of the sections I'm looking at. So this is the part I'm looking at. He turns toward home as if willing himself. This is so much subtle stuff, and it's like comics. Every action you kind of have to show. So, okay, so he's turning towards home. Okay, turns to home. Landon said, I see you've got a Nirvana shirt. Have you ever listened to the album Enclaved Soul? You should check it out. There's a song called Particles by Enclaved Soul. Okay. I'll try to check that out. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I don't know why I just decided to get the Nirvana shirt I had in high school. I think every guy my age probably had a Nirvana shirt like this in high school. Let's see here. Turns to home, willing himself to do something. Okay, so home, extending hand. It's just tough because, like, in a comic, like showing something subtle like that it's just comics aren't that subtle with movement. Nice. Landon said Enclaved Soul is a metal alternative fusion band I created with my friend. Nice. That's awesome. Let's see here. Okay, so it says Robert ignores the gesture, and so Robert, I'm gonna have to figure out how to show that. Ignores gesture. We're also gonna have to condense this because we're already at 6. Okay, 7's gonna be a wide shot. Elizabeth, text. Robert, text. Okay, so she's saying, I was telling them about men and women. And then Robert's going to say, ah, yes. And then home is going to make the dickheaded comment, critics can be so nasty, don't you think, Mr. Browning? I'm sorry, like as an artist, that's warring words, man. So home, text. 8. Robert glaring at home. Elizabeth shocked. Okay, and then I'm going to have Robert's words here. So at least we're condensing it a bit. So Robert goes, I will not shake your hand, sir, nor will I be in the same room as you. Okay, so that's the tense. That's the beginning of the tension. Now it's in the open. Like so far, it's been very like unspoken, kind of little subtle jabs, and now we have a gentleman's disagreement, which is pretty awesome, and I'm very excited about. Okay, so let's see. There's just so much going on. Okay, we'll have to figure it out. So I'm gonna thumbnail it out. So first, let's see here. So I'll just call this my my text. I think this is the hardest part of the rough process in comics is like breaking down a script that you didn't write to like thumbnail. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of thinking. Whereas like the rest is kind of like a lot of action. You're kind of knowing what you're drawing and stuff like that. But this part where it's like a little blue sky and you're having to try to convey the author's words, that to me is really challenging. It's also probably one of the more fun things. And it is something I can do on stream. So that's cool. Okay, so we're going to do, so for the first part, right now we're just going to do a thumbnail and then we'll do a tighter rough. Okay, so the thumbnail is going to be, I'll just make like a little rough page or something. So the first thing is going to be Robert saying, let's see where we left off. Okay. I think it would be good if it's almost like a zoomed in shot. Okay. So it'll be like a zoomed in shot of Robert kind of based on the previous page where Robert's going to be here, but his hands are going to be out. Like, my apologies, you know. So his hands will be out. And this will be Mrs. Reimer's face over here with her kind of crazy thing. So we'll, like, as we zoom in, it's like I'm going to cut out home. So it's like, you know, the next panel where he's noticing home will feel like, oh yeah, you're reminded and noticing home as well. And then we're going to do, let's see here. I'll have Elizabeth here, kind of looking. So Elizabeth's going to be here. This is just a thumbnail. I'm probably working too much on it, honestly. So Elizabeth will be here, right? And maybe the text can be framed. No, the text, that is the right spot for the text. So it should be, my apologies, I didn't realize. Okay. Cool. And this should be on a separate layer from my little text thing. That's cool. Landon, what did you play in your band? All right, so that's going to be the first panel. Okay, and he's going to notice home and his face darkens. So maybe we can condense these two because it was going to be the face angered and over shoulder. So maybe that can be condensed to instead. I think we'll have home here in the foreground, like home's face. So home will be here. Rhymer will be here. Oh, geez. I'm trying to think of how to do this. Okay. I think I got it. My computer's having issues. Okay. Let's see here. I think I'm gonna make it a little wider so it can be like let's not view the extras yet either. Because these are gonna get in the way of the thumbnail. So maybe it's like actually like even wider. Again, this is just thumbnails. So maybe he's there. Maybe we've got Rhymer here. Rhymer's got the little bonnet thing or whatever. So it'll be like a wider shot, and it can be like a closer angle of his head. So this is him, his face darkened. Okay, so home will be here. These are the thumbnails, not the final roughs. Maybe this hand can be down here. And then maybe we can have, should Elizabeth still be here? It'd be weird to have her kind of half cut off, but maybe she can be in like a little like, oh no. With her T. Okay. Cool. So there's my really rough thing. There's going to be like a doorway there, bookshelves, all that fun stuff. Okay. Just thumbnailing this out, guys. Okay, so then it's going to be Mrs. R, Mrs. Rhymer, hand to Robert, and Robert grasps it and speaks. Okay, and we were going to condense that to one. So again, thumbnails, that's fine. Okay. How many do we have after that? So we've got this. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to go. Okay. Robert's thing. Okay. So yeah, Landon, let me know what you played. I'm curious. I think in the past you've mentioned that you played guitar, but I don't know. I could be off or wrong. Because I thought at one point somebody had mentioned you played keys or something too. I just had the light go out. Give me like 2 seconds. I just had the light go out. So hold on. All right. Sorry about that. I was like, I thought the light kind of went out. Anyhow, so we're gonna do let's see here. Okay. He turns to home. Oh wait, not yet. We're not there. It's Robert doing "It is good to see you. I hope you are well." So we got quite a ways to go. So this is gonna be, I think, maybe a side shot. Okay, I think that would work. So this will be Elizabeth is kind of sitting in a chair from the last panel. That's kind of well established. So she'll be here, kind of drinking her tea, sitting down on the couch thing. The couch thing, that's the official term for it. So she's on this couch. Robert's here. He's going to be saying, he's going to be like bowing. So he's going to be holding the hand of Mrs. Reimer. Mrs. Reimer is going to be here, kind of, oh my gosh. My light is having a world of its own right now. Okay. Let's see here. So she'll be here. She's got her kind of hat thing. She'll have her hand out. Again, these are thumbnails. So she'll be sitting. Tea here. And there's that couch they're sitting on with the little thing. And then home will be here, kind of glaring mischievously. But again, we'll get more into the fine details, the deets of this later on. So he's got his lovely tea there. And then we've got like our little thing here. Photo. Robert's going to be here. His hand's going to be gesturing kind of like that, like a whole thing. And then we'll have him saying, "It's good to see you. Hope you are well." Ciao, right there. Philip was saying, I know you've talked about this before, but I'm sort of curious how you decide where to start and end a page when going by the script. Like what line or action to make your first and last panel. So the nice thing about this is this script we already kind of worked on, and like it's been broken up into the way that the publisher and the author wants the script to be broken up. So in this case, I'm just kind of going by the script. And then if I feel it's not working or something like that, then great. But in general, like this has been broken down for me, which is kind of nice. On previous graphic novels, the two that I've already made, those are ones where I've written it, and generally I try to find a compelling moment to kind of end the page. And generally, like that's kind of what I like to do, is like hopefully leave on something that makes you want to turn the page or creates curiosity. And in general, that's kind of what I do. But the layout in general also can dictate it, because there are some layouts that just the design of it kind of requires like specific scenes to happen on one page. So hopefully that answers, Philip, what you were talking about. Good question though. But yeah, on this one, it's like a lot of that work's already been done for me, which is awesome. Okay. He turns towards Mr. Home as if willing himself to do something. Oh wait, let's look at our. We have these wonderful little notes for a reason. Okay, we've got that. Okay, turns to Home. Home's extending his hand. Okay. This needs to be like a shot. This is going to be interesting. I almost feel like it should be. Okay, this is going to be a shot between home. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. Sorry, this is a confusing one. We're going to do home in the foreground, like kind of over shoulder shot of home. We are kind of crossing the line of action a little bit to make this work, but I think it works that way. So there's his hand extended. His hand's extended out. Here's Reimer. Reimer will be here. Maybe she's even looking to like him like, okay, and now we're going to say hello to Mr. Home. So Mrs. Reimer's here. Robert's going to be here facing him. I want his head kind of tilted there like he's looking. So he's going to be almost like in the action of pivoting. Maybe his hand will be kind of almost at the ready. And Elizabeth will be here. Kind of seated. Again, thumbnail. So nothing crazy needed. Okay. I think we'll do that, and then we'll do how many panels does this have to be? Okay, we have 4 panels left after this, so I think I have it figured out. So this will be 3 panels at the bottom, at the second row. And this will be like almost a repeated sequence, except boom, just so we notice the action. So his head will be over here like, And I think his arms this time will be like cross. Like he's snubbed him. I think that visually needs to be shown. And then this will be like, this hand will be like, well, kind of down. And she'll be kind of shocked. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think that'll work for the sequence of getting snubbed, right? Like he's got his hand out to get it shake. He's like, nope. Looks at Reimer. Okay, cool. Whew. We're getting there, guys. So that's him ignoring the gesture. Okay. And I think we just have 2 more. Wide shot of, oh, okay. So it's 2 wide shots. I think that's actually this almost worked out perfectly. So it'll be 2 wide shots of almost the same thing. Okay, so this is a wide shot of the room. So this will be Elizabeth. She's going to be seated here. Robert will be here. Reimer here. Again, these are thumbnails. And home here. Okay. And this is going to be Elizabeth saying, I was telling him about men and women, and he's going to be saying, ah, yes. Okay, this is actually why this is perfect to do thumbnails here because this is kind of good, but there's so much space below them that I think this will be better, because basically it's going to be him saying like, yes, and then critics can be so nasty. I almost wonder, Philip said, thanks for going over that, Josh. I'm still figuring out how to lay out pages when I work on my comic. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of like clarity is the key. That's the biggest thing. Just make sure that your layouts are clearly easy to read. I mean, and then, yeah, you definitely want to start with something interesting and finish with something that makes people want to turn the page. Or maybe like something that's rewarding so people want to turn the page. Suspense turns are always good too. I'm almost wondering if we should have a close-up of home, but I kind of don't want to have a close-up of home because I want this to be the same shot, but Elizabeth is going to have her hands here. She's going to be kind of stunned. And then we're going to have Robert is going to be like going at him. Like, I will not shake my hand out, right? He just grew like 10 feet. This is going to be him saying, I will not shake my hand at you, sir, or whatever. And nor will I be in the same room with you. And Reimer is going to be shocked. And home is going to be shocked. And that is my thumbnail for the page. So we have like a really decent little thumbnail. What I'll do is play a trailer for one of my books, and then we'll come back and we'll start roughing out the page. But we have it kind of roughly worked out what we want. So I'll label this thumbnail, and then we'll watch a trailer, and then I'll be back, and we're gonna rock and roll some roughs. Whew. Craziness what goes into these things. All right, so let's find a good trailer. All right, here we go.
Hi, my name's Chris and I like comics. I want to talk about this comic for a second here. I just got this in. I ordered it direct from my local comic shop through Diamond Distributing. It's Joshua Kemble's Jacob's Apartment. I really enjoyed this book. There's all kinds of comics out there, let's be honest. There's fun comics, there's superhero comics, there's young adult comics, there's adventure comics for kids. There's so many different things under the planet. But there's also an entire subgenre of alternative books. Real life, real world depictions in comic book form. Situations that happen to each and every one of us. And this is a fine example of that. If you get a chance, order this book from your local comic shop. You won't be disappointed. I can't sing its praises high enough. Okay? Check it out. Jacob's Apartment by Joshua Kemble.
All right, we're ready to rock some roughs. So let's see here. It really is like, I don't know. I feel like comics are kind of like music. So there's like crescendos and like there's pacing to it. And that's the key thing that I always try to keep in mind is like what kind of keeps a solid pace with a story. Does this need like a quiet moment? Like what's the tempo of this page? That always helps me kind of gauge panel layout and stuff like that. But I stick to like very basic layouts and then I'll break from them. But I usually have a very basic grid that a whole book is designed upon. And then from there, I'll kind of stretch and do like more dynamic paneling when it calls for it. But that's a trap a lot of people fall into, where they try to do so much dynamic paneling, especially early comics. And it's like sticking to a basic grid at first is not a bad way to go. Like where you have like I don't know, like 6 panels per page or something like that as your grid. And then from there, you can kind of extend it and change it and do, more creative things with it. But yeah, like I think that, I don't know if that helps, but that's kind of how I look at these things. It's like kind of like music. And like music, right? You need a tempo. That helps a lot. Okay, so we have this. I think our text is done. I don't think we need that. I think our thumbnail, I for some stupid reason put these check marks on that. So our thumbnail's there. I have borders that I can borrow from the previous thumb. I always kind of keep my thumbnails on a template so that I don't have to redraw a bunch of stuff. So show my guides. So this is my last left page, and I just copied my last left page, and then basically I don't have to redraw all of these different borders. I can just slightly adjust them. And then once I'm done doing this like grid layout stuff, like I can, take that into Illustrator and like really perfect the ruling and stuff of the edges. But for now, we're just thumbnailing. So I did notice that I don't think these are symmetrical. So I think I need to kind of work on that, because I know I want my last panels to be symmetrical. So right now I'm going to make my little panel borders. Yep, not symmetrical. Okay. So we'll adjust that real quick. And then we have like from there, we'll have our panel borders kind of worked out. So let me see. Center one is going to be symmetrical, and I like the sizing. I think it might be a little taller. I want this page to kind of have, I think this will be, just looking at my thumbnail, I think this should be significantly taller. The others should be a little slimmer. I want to allow room for that type. Okay. And again, we're just roughing. At this point, these are roughs. Thumbnails are for me to kind of know pacing. Roughs are like a rough idea of the page that I then send to the publisher and the author and kind of get approval for the final on. So they need to be detailed enough to like kind of establish a little bit of lighting, a little bit of mood, a little bit of costume, but they don't need to be like egregious, like egregiously detailed. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit over here, I think. And I kind of like the idea of giving a little bit more space to the center. Maybe that's too much space. Actually, I think I just need to move a little less over. So we'll move just a little bit. So it's like a step ladder. Okay. And from there, we'll kind of establish the borders a little bit. Okay, I think I can turn the guide off. View guides. Okay, cool. We'll save. Okay, and our borders are all set. So now, oh wait, our borders are not set. Here I'm like thinking I'm all done, and I'm not. What I should do here is actually, I think I'll do, okay. I want this broken into thirds, so I'm just going to use some cheats to do exactly that. And by cheats, I just mean, you know, copy the previous panel. That's way too wide. Okay. Okay. Again, I can like divide this out and rule it out and stuff like that, but that's better done after the rough stage, in my opinion, because at this stage, you want it to be kind of loose and unprecious. And one of my failures, actually, as an artist, sometimes is to make these things too tight. And you don't want tight roughs. I mean, tighter roughs, like I do tighter roughs, and I like that because it helps me get approval from the publisher and the author. But I don't need these to be like final pages. So then we're going to have our third and our last. Yay! Okay, that kind of works. And these are going to be similarly sized. I don't like how big the middle is. So I think what I'm going to do is make those even smaller. Just a little bit. And then we'll make, I think that actually works. So we'll do something equivalent to that doesn't allow enough room for type. Okay, you know what? This is what it is. It is what it is. All right. We're going to save this. And we're going to have our thumbnail here, our previous page here, so we know our setting. My previous page. That's going to be helpful. Very, very helpful. Okay, I think I'll have that here, and I'll have my thumbnail here, and then we'll start roughing out panel 1. Okay, so panel 1 is going to be Robert saying, my... Can it really not undo that line? Okay, there we go. My apologies. I didn't realize. Okay. Dash, dash. And our incentive tonight for finishing at least the rough for this page is, I'm hoping, if I have the energy once it's done, to do a game of Risk as a reward. Okay. So this is going to be Elizabeth here. Okay. So we're going to have Elizabeth kind of here. I want her eyes kind of looking at Robert. Let's just get loose with this too. We don't need to, again, like, it doesn't need to be finished. So this is Elizabeth. She's going to be here. She's got her kind of thing here. I want her coffee mug, not her coffee mug, her tea. This is English. The British, not American. If this was American, they'd be having like coffee. But if it was America, like, I think Robert and Home would have been like throwing blows. Like, just a different time, guys. Okay, so her hand's going to be here. And we're going to have her right there. And we're going to have Mrs. Reimer here. She's going to be looking at him. She has like kind of a rounder nose. And she has this awesome bonnet. With a weird, like, it's funny. Some of these Victorian like things, like that bonnet with like a weird, like, I can't even explain what it was. It was like a strange attachment thingamabopper. It's like a bib almost that she was wearing, which is crazy, but apparently, yeah, people wore those. Okay, so this is going to be Robert here. Here's the chair. This is going to help for like placement. There's the couch. There's a chair here. It's that white chair. Chairs here. The bookshelf is here. There's like this crazy bookshelf that's been a pain in the butt to draw. Oh, we want to avoid bookshelf tangent. Oh, that's going to create a tangent. Bookshelf needs to start a little earlier. Bookshelf will be here to avoid that tangent. Okay. We'll have the top here. There's like a kind of sculpture thing here. There's like a picture frame there. There's 1, 2, 3. Oh. 2, 3. 2, 3, 1. And then 1 here that goes a little lower. There we go. It's tough with this bookshelf to avoid the inevitable tangents. That does everybody know what a tangent is? If you don't, feel free to mention in chats and don't feel embarrassed. I've actually met a few people who didn't know what tangents are recently. And that wasn't like a bad thing. They were just like unfamiliar with like what a tangent is. And when I explained it, they were like, "Oh, that's awesome." Because it's like something we should avoid in art, but a lot, like some people are embarrassed to like speak up about that kind of thing, like if they don't know. But it's good to know. It's a graphic designer and illustrator's secret toolbox is avoiding tangents. Okay. So we've got Robert's going to be here, and he's going to be kind of a little taken aback, but at this point he doesn't see home. So he's got his awesome Abraham Lincoln beard, which he totally had, which is kind of awesome. I think I should do the Abraham Lincoln thing just for the heck of it. How would you guys respond if I started rocking an Abraham Lincoln beard? So this is going to be him with his hands out. Hands are going to be gesturing. Again, this is a rough, not a final, but it's a little more clarified for the publisher, right? Hand out. And legs here. Cool. And now we've got him saying, my apologies, I didn't realize. Got a door frame here. I've had to draw this room so much. There's a door frame here. Oh, that's going to be tangent galore. It's an open door. And there is kind of molding on the roof. There's like a picture frame here, a couple picture frames. Did I make I think I might have made that too high. Should be a little bit, because that's in the background. Wouldn't make sense for it to be taller than Robert. I feel like there was, I don't know if we lost it, but I feel like there was a okay. Doorway, door frame, and then we'll have our thing here and here. Okay, cool. Now we'll just tone it. We have one panel knocked out. I just do a quick brush of tone just so we're establishing kind of lighting. Kind of helps differentiate what's going on. A little bit of lighting there. Should be definitely a lot of lighting here. A little bit of lighting on the chair. Definitely lighting underneath. Rhymer will have a little bit of side lighting going on. And we've got our kind of bookshelf. It'll have its kind of own little lighting. And there we go. We got a little comp. A little comp. I've been saying little a lot. Okay, that's one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One of 6 done. I'm going to get some water. So I'm going to put the trailer for Wordzoid. This is a Jim Lujan's trailer. And then we'll work on panel 2.
Well, Peter, since I'm such a big music fan, I'm gonna have to go with Karen Carpenter. Oh, Stu, I'm sorry. That's the incorrect answer. Trish, what you got for us?
I'm gonna go with Kim Gordon.
All right, let's check that answer. Kim Gordon. Do we have a Kim Gordon? Yes, and that means you're our new Wordzoid champion, Trish. Dale, tell Trish what she's won. Trish, you've won a copy of 2 stories, a memoir of faith and mental illness. Handwritten, hand-drawn, and handed to you by artist and writer Joshua Kemble. But wait, that's not all. You've also won a copy of Jacob's Apartment, the story of a doomed romance. What happens when you take Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and put it in a blender with Ghost World? You get Jacob's Apartment, written and illustrated by Joshua Kemble. Trish, thank you for playing Wordzoid.
All right, great job, Trish.
I was told I was gonna get a lifetime supply of paper towels.
All right. I don't know. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I can't explain how flattering it was to have Jim Lujan make a cartoon for me. It's just like, I don't know. I've known Jim for years. I admire the hell out of his animation, and it's like what a amazing gift to give to somebody. It's just really cool. So, thank you, Jim. That's seriously one of my favorite things in the world. And you managed to kind of do it and keep your humor and Jim Luhan-ness about it. So if you guys haven't yet, you should definitely be subscribed to Jim Luhan. He's working on a movie called The Full Fungus. That should be hilarious. The title should give you a rough idea of that. The neat thing is, like, I feel like I'm properly loose on this tonight. Like, there's times where sometimes, like, when I'm roughing, I'm like a little too tight. And I think Philip will understand this, like Philip Chandler, because he draws a ton, but it's like, honestly, I think anybody who draws would get this, but there's nights where it's like you're just not like loose enough to like do thumbnails or roughs, and it's like I feel properly like looking at this thumbnail, I'm like, oh, all the information I need is there. That's great. It may not look like it to you guys, but it's like, to me, this is all I need. Like, this is a good thumbnail for me. Gives me all the placement, all the pacing, everything I need. So I'm just going to use that to kind of make this work. So this is a different kind of shot. This one's going to be kind of behind. It's kind of a weird one to work out, but I think I can make it work. So we need home here. I need to have Home's head here. I want to have his kind of evil mustache here. And his hair. That might be too, he might be too turned toward us, but I kind of don't mind that. Okay. I was starting to do Holmes' hair like I do Elizabeth's, so I need to rework that. So Holmes' hair kind of goes a little more like this. There's his thing. Okay. And then we've got, love it. Okay. His head's way too big for this panel, which is great because that's why I like doing roughs digitally is really cool, because I can just resize his head. No worries, loosey-goosey. All right. So this is going to be Home here in the foreground. I'm going to have his head significantly smaller, which is great because that'll allow more space for Robert. He's taking up about half the panel, and maybe he's tilted a little bit. Robert's definitely tilted, like gambling tilted in this. Okay, so then we're going to have Mrs. Reimer. She's going to be here. I like the idea of cheating it a little bit. Like, technically their heads would be overlapping, but I like what I did in my thumbnail there. So we're going to do that. Just move her back a little bit. She's got her rounded nose. She has like her kind of wacky thing. This is going to be there. She'll have her I think I'll have her T here. And his T, maybe his T will be out. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Then we've got Elizabeth, who's going to be in the foreground a little more closely. So we're going to have her. Her head's going to be significantly smaller. Eyes are a little too close. That's okay. She's got her kind of blouse. And we've got her here. And then we've got Robert noticing Robert is noticing what's going on here. Just exaggerated a little bit. I kind of like the posture I had on the other one. That's too like mopey. He should be like almost like a Clint Eastwood kind of pose. I like his hand being kind of, oh, I accidentally did a cancel. I don't want to do full screen mode. I want to do standard screen mode. Okay. Vic said, yo, how's it going, Vic? Just working on thumbnails to roughs. And right now I'm doing a rough for page 72 of my graphic novel. I want his hand kind of here. Do I want it cut off by her? No. I think we'll have it. Okay, so his hand's going to be here. There we go. Much better. Okay. And then we're going to have our background a little bit. So this will be the bookshelf is going to be kind of coming out here. Nice. Vic said it's going as good as it can go making comics. That's awesome. I'm glad you're making comics, man. Join us. I've joked that those of us who make comics are like the weird guy selling watches on a street where you're like, you want to buy a watch, kid? It's like we're that guy, but with comics where it's like, you want to make comics? Just try a bit. We're comics are like a drug deal, basically, is what I'm getting at. Just try it, you'll like it, that kind of thing. And then before you know it, you're doing comics. All right, so we're just toning this, and then we'll move on to the next thumbnail. I kind of like how that came out. Well, this isn't a thumbnail, it's a rough, but it gives enough information for the publisher to kind of okay it. And also it gives me enough information for like when I go to final, like about placement and setting and mood and a lot of that other stuff. But I really want, I think here too, I might change up the lighting. We'll see. But I think it might be cool if like they're all kind of in shadow. And then we almost have like, maybe he's lit from underneath a little bit. Yeah. And maybe we can do something to kind of make that happen. But I think that accentuates the, what is it that the writer said here? His face darkens. I think that shows that. Okay, so now we're gonna pull our previous page, the final, just so that I have that reference of like keeping in the environment that I'm drawing in. Vic said, who's my publisher on this? It is Turner Publishing. And I'm pretty excited about it. They've been really cool so far. Okay, so we have to see our thumbnail. So I'm going to go ahead and move the thumbnail over so I can kind of peek at it. And then I'm going to move the previous page over a little bit. So I'm kind of keeping in frame. And honestly, I need to look at this because this is closer. This last panel actually is closer to the final. So what the staging that I want. So, okay. And I have like really great little thumbnails here. I'm like, okay, this is going to show me all the movement and stuff like that. Get a lot of information from just these little doodles. Okay. Let's do this. This one is going to be, okay. Yeah. So it's going to say, it's good to see you. Hope you are well. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And then I think that this is going to have a roughly text bubble like around there. Okay, cool. Now we have Elizabeth, who's going to be here in the right. On the right. Okay. Okay. So we're going to have Elizabeth here. It's going to be a side shot. So Elizabeth is going to be sort of looking. She's going to have her mug here. She's seated here. Her perfect. Okay. So that's Elizabeth. Robert is going to, oh, let's have her, she's on this couch thing. It has like a pillow here. And the couch kind of comes out to here. That was a bad couch. Bad couch. Okay. Have it a little more accurate perspective. That would be good. This is Robert here. He's going to be leaning over. So we're going to have his hand over here. He's going to be holding her hand. He's greeting Mrs. Reimer. Initially, I had his hand was going to be over here, but I think it would be good if it's actually behind him, like this. I think that's actually a better pose. So this is him leaning down to kind of say hi to Mrs. Reimer. Her hand is going to be here. And again, I'm just looking at this down here, if you guys are checking this out. So like that's my map right here. So that's kind of my little interior map that I'm looking at. Eddie said, I have to go, guys. It's 2:40 a.m. in New York City. I'll see you all on the next one. Well, thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Vic said, dang, this is like a book place. Yes, it is a book place. Yeah. So it's been pretty cool. Like my first publisher was Marcosia. And then my next publisher was Graphic Mundi, and for my graphic novels. And then this one's Turner. And so far, my experience with each has been really cool. I will say, I think for publishers like Graphic Mundi, working with them was amazing. And then Turner seems really cool. So we'll see how it goes as we go. But I'm like, so far, I have nothing negative to say about my experience with them. It's just really pretty cool, but it's fun to like start adding like different publishers to the list. Eddie, thank you for hanging out with us, though. It's awesome that you guys spend the time to hang out with me and draw. Hopefully you guys are drawing too while I'm working. That's the whole idea here, as hopefully we're all kind of working together. So she's going to be sitting here. We're going to have this be, she needs her cup of tea. And I think I'm going to have, I think I want home to be a little almost like miffed. I drew him a little big, so I think I might reduce him just a little bit. Cool. Okay. He's going to be sitting here, legs out. Okay. and they're on this this couch. Couch has like these armrest things. There we go. There is a table here. There is a chair here. There is a bookshelf here, and there is a painting. It's like here. It's kind of large. And I think there's a, yeah. Okay. I'm terrible because I forgot the lamp. There's like a lamp right here. And then the bookshelf, which Robert has kind of crossed over. Okay. Let's have this. We're just kind of doing our bookshelf here. 1, 2, just rocking the books, adding the books in there, and then we'll add some shading to kind of make the values make sense. People have like a rough idea of what's going on. Vic said the next thing he's going to be working on is submitting to Gold Key. You should. They're awesome. Gold Key's rad. Those guys are so cool. They've been on Artcasters twice now, and I actually just backed their Kickstarter because it's cool. It's Boris Karloff. Like, who doesn't like that? But yeah, I just backed their Kickstarter because it's a book I want to see happen. And I think the last time I checked, their Kickstarter is easily over 20 grand at this point, which is cool. So I'm glad they're having success. I think they're overfunded for the book. Gold Key's cool. I think if I didn't have a project that I was already working on, if I had particularly like a sci-fi or horror or mystery, like there's a bunch of like genres that would really fit well with Gold Key, or like classic like Hanna-Barbera style thing. I would be easily pitching to them because they seem like guys who really care about comics. But yeah. Okay. So we have one more thumbnail going. So I'm going to go ahead and move this page down. And then I'll move my thumbnail up so that I can look at it. Oh my gosh. And I was drawing on my thumbnail layer again instead of my rough layer. Yeah, Vic was saying, I want to see that publisher succeed. Yeah, I do too. And I think they will, because it's just like guys that clearly have the passion for what they're putting out. And they seem like just honest to God, like people who love comics. Although, to be honest, like most people who start comics companies tend to love comics. It's sort of it's a hard industry to break into. You have to be a little crazy for comics to do it. But yeah, I just love the Gold Key look and the vibe and like the history, and the fact that they're honoring that is really cool to me. Okay. My goal is to try to stay nice and loose here because I feel like my rough is coming along real well. So I don't want to overblow it and burn out or anything. So I'm going to take another break. I'm going to put on the trailer, another trailer, and then I'll be right back. And we'll rock through the rest of the roughs for this page. Let's see. Let's do this one.
Hi, my name is Phil Chandler. I'm a freelance artist, illustrator, and cartoonist. Today, though, however, I want to tell you about a graphic novel I picked up recently called Jacob's Apartment. This book was both written and beautifully illustrated by Joshua Kemble. It is the story of a doomed romance that causes the main character to question his beliefs and his faith, while he's also going through other tragedies in his life. Every page has been illustrated by hand and digitally colored with painstaking detail. It is an emotional story that causes you to think and even question things in your own life. And while the story is a tragedy, it is one that I was completely entertained by and I highly recommend. You can currently find this on Amazon or even check in with your local bookstore and see if you can order it. And while you're at it, you can also check out my Instagram at Phil Chandler Arts and also my YouTube channel by the same name, Phil Chandler Arts. And go buy Jacob's Apartment.
Cool. So that was Philip's kind words about Jacob's Apartment, and you guys should actually check out Philip Chandler's channel if you haven't yet. He's awesome, very talented animator and cartoonist. All right, so this panel, let's look at the script. This panel was going to be the repeat panel. So this is Mr. Home extending his hand to shake before he gets snubbed. This is Victorian. It's Phil. It says Vic. That's awesome. Okay. So this is going to be kind of a bit of crossing the line, which is like you're kind of not supposed to do sequentially, but I think I can get away with it because it's almost like a direct opposite shot. Because so far, Robert's on the left, Home is on the right, Robert's on the left, Home is on the right, and suddenly Home is on the left and Robert's on the right. It's going to be a little jarring, but it has to be done. It has to. So you guys, when you see the final, you can be like, this is where Josh crossed the line of action like a bad sequential artist. All right. So this is going to be Home in the foreground. Get his kind of wacky hair. Vic said I should turn in. You should. Have a good night, Vic. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you coming, checking out these streams and watching Artcasters as well. There was a really fun one too. I think you know. I think you're familiar with Paul Pate. He was on Artcasters this last time, and it was a riot. It was a very funny episode. We got a little out of hand. Like, we needed Scott there and Corey there to balance us out, so we didn't act like, silly children. But they were gone, so it was a very raucous, goofy episode. But thanks for stopping by, Vic. All right, so we are going to have Home here. Home is going to be extending his hand for a handshake. So this is Home in the foreground. Home's going to have his kind of wacky hair. This does not look like Home. Now it looks like Home. There we go. Just need to adjust his nose. That was the problem there. There we go. Okay, that's Home. He's extending his hand for a handshake. Hand's going to be going out for a handshake. It's an interesting angle to have to draw a hand. Okay. Hand extending. Put it there, brother, kind of thing. I think he needs to be looking at Robert. Okay. And then Robert's going to be here. Oh, and this will be Oh my goodness. My computer is like not having fun right now. Okay, so this will be Reimer, Mrs. Reimer. She's going to be here in the foreground. My computer can process it with her crazy hat and kind of thing. She's going to be here. And this is Robert. He's going to be looking. Oh, wait. Let's do Elizabeth first. This is going to be Elizabeth. He's going to be looking to Robert. I want it pretty clear that she's looking at Robert. Okay, here's her kind of crazy hair. She's got her tea. And this will be the, I'm doing this on the thumbnail layer again. Darn it. I keep doing these on the wrong layers. Okay, that's an easy fix. Okay, so this is going to be that couch. And Robert is going to be here looking to him like he's like, I need just direct look. Okay. He's got kind of this hair. This is going to be him kind of looking. He was kind of twisting his body a little bit, so it's facing chest this way. I'm going to have his arm kind of out like he's ready. To shake hands. As if he's ready to shake hands. So that's this one. Perfect. Okay. And this is going to be the doorway will be here. It's going to be kind of in the background. No, that's bad. Doorway should be going back. Something like that. We're going to have our wall with pictures. So this will be the small picture, circle picture. There's another picture here. There's another one here, and then there's a big one here. I don't think it's, oh yeah, it is as wide. Cool. Okay. Now we're going to shade this so that it's easier to kind of see. Holmes' hand. Elizabeth. Light's kind of on her right. And then we're going to have Robert. Light is on his right. And then this is Eckley, or not Eckley, sorry. That's Sophie Eckley is a different character. This is Mrs. Reimer. Doorway. Doorway gets a little darker as it comes down. Walls. Walls are definitely going to be a little darker. Okay, cool. Now this next one's really easy. This next thumbnail should be, or sorry, rough should be really easy. I just need to move this to the rough page, or the rough layer. So I have my thumbnail. Okay, so we're going to move this down, merge down. And we're going to move our thumbnail over here. I want to take a look at it because there's a couple things that are going to be different about this, but not much. Sweet. Philip Chandler said, "Hey, Vic, I was nodding off and starting to get ready for bed." Nice. How's it going, Philip? Wait a minute, Philip, you were in here earlier. I think Vic went off to Sleepy Land. So we're gonna do here. I'm gonna do magenta for a little bit of a change because I wanted this to be a repeat. If you guys were here for the thumbnail, this is the snub. So Robert here is going to be now facing here. So his head's going to be here now. I'm just going to draw the changes above in magenta because it's easy to see. And this will be kind of like the things that I need to change in here. So this will be the right side, and he's going to have his arms folded. I think that's what we decided on. So then we're going to do that. That'll be kind of the same base a little bit. So I can erase out the part there. To have that changed bit for the snub. The epic snub. Okay. So then we'll shade this a little bit and we'll move on to the other things that need to change. Okay, what else do I want to change on this panel? I think I wanted her to be a little shocked. So her expression is going to be like shock. And then his hand is going to be lower. Let's see what I did in the thumbnail. Yeah, his hand is lower. Actually, his hand's going to be lower. And I think his head will be back a little bit too. So I want his head kind of back a little bit. Again, just a rough. So we're going to get a little bit more here. Oh, we need to actually get through here too. Okay. There's another picture frame here. And then we're going to have our cheese. What do we have for... I think she's shocked too. She's kind of shocked and looking towards... Okay. So Miss Reimer is going to be kind of looking towards him now. So we'll do that too. It's Frank. How's it going, Frank? How you doing, buddy? Philip said, talk to you soon, Josh. Have a good night. Have a good night, Philip. Thank you for hanging out and supporting the channel. Her eyebrow should be a little more concerned. Yep. Okay. And then her hat will be a little more tilted. There we go. And then we'll just erase that out. And we'll have that here. Okay. Now we'll do this. And we'll do this. Cool. Interesting. Frank said, "Is Landon still here? I approved one of his messages." Oh, let me check it out. Maybe there was one that was pending. I don't see a pending message. But I am kind of curious to hear Enclaved Soul, the Nirvana-esque band he was in, what he was saying earlier. Okay, so we have now got the snub. We're getting there, guys. We have 2 panels left to go. So I'm going to go ahead and move the previous page over. We're going to need that. You know what we need, actually? At this point, I don't need the rest of the previous page. So I'm going to isolate the last panel so that it's there to reference just for like the environment, because that's going to be important for those last 2 panels. And then again, so that we don't burn out, I will take a real quick break and play a trailer, and then we will rock and roll these last 2 panels on this rough for page 72 of Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story. And then Frank said it was about checking out his album. Nice. Okay, so we've got, let's see, we've exhausted most of the trailers, but here is Jacob's Apartment. Speak clearly, it seems that only in dreams can we these things we've seen and walk around breathing I don't know the part to play in this heart of mine. There's dissonant things, they split at the seams. All right, so I am going to work on the roughs for the last 2 panels and hopefully knock these out. So we're going to have Elizabeth saying, I was telling them about men and women. I was telling them there is a major lag on my computer. Men and that's going to be italic. Women. Because it's a book. She has it in quotes in the script, but that's something we're going to have to change. Not a bolt about men and women. Okay. And then it's going to be him saying, ah, yes. And then home like a dickhead is going to say, critics get, oh my gosh, these are such fighting words. Okay. Critics. Can you imagine, like, so I don't know, let's say you're like, you finished your comic or something, you're like, check it out, like my comic just came out a month ago, and it's like, yeah, critics can be so nasty, don't you think? That's so mean. It's just a brutal. Home is not a good man. Okay. Critics can be so nasty. Don't you think Mr. Browning? Okay, so one of the things I love about thumbnails and doing and roughs and doing tighter roughs is you can kind of work out your placement of type before you get to typesetting it, which actually helps for your arrangement of your page. Because basically I want to arrange my type so there's no orphans. Like orphans are when you have like a single word on one line. If you orphan your type, it makes it really hard to read, and it makes the flow of it not go quite as well. So you can kind of plan for that. Like it's like pre-planning for that before you ever get to typesetting and stuff like that, which I think is great. I used to on my roughs not do that, and then I'd end up having things that I planned out to have more space than they did end up having. This is just a really nice way to avoid any sort of pitfalls with that type of thing. Okay, so this was going to be Elizabeth sitting here. Oh, we're going to have Elizabeth sitting here. This is Elizabeth side shot. Elizabeth's going to be gaping horrified. Was not the best arm there. She is going to have her tea. Okay, cool. We're getting there, guys. Okay. That's Elizabeth. Robert's going to be standing. He's going to have like a kind of happier expression. This is before the fire and fury. He hasn't yet heard the response that he's going to get from home. And home is going to be here just kind of saying, oh, yes. Maybe hands together. Okay. Home's going to be standing. Do 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 do. We're getting there, guys. Elizabeth needs to be a little bit bigger in comparison. And also I need to adjust her face a little bit. I can get loose with these roughs, but I should probably have her face be somewhat recognizable. Let's fix that head. Okay. So there we go. And then we've got Reimer, who's going to be sitting. They're going to be much lower. We might have to move the type too. Mrs. Reimer is sitting here. And she's going to have her kind of crazy hat on. She's a little chubbier. Okay. And she's going to be sitting here, kind of comfortably having her tea. Let's see, Mrs. Reimer's, okay, she's got like kind of a similar thing to Elizabeth. My computer is like not happy. Okay. And then home is going to be here, making kind of a smarmy face as he says this. Holmes' head is way too big, so we'll adjust that accordingly in a second. But I do kind of like his expression here. What if I want him to... Okay. We're going to do a little bit of... That's it. His arm's going to be kind of like this. Like he's kind of trying to kind of play it off passively, like his dickheaded comment. And this will be the where his coffee is, his mug. At this point, I'm just drawing him kind of in frame. And then we'll reduce him down so he fits in the so he fits in there. Aha, perfect. Okay. He just needs to be like half the size of that. A little bit taller. Okay, cool. And now I want them to fill the frame a little bit. So we're going to have them filling the frame, and then we'll draw the background around them. Almost to spec for like what was planned out. And Robert should be just a wee bit taller. Okay. Elizabeth should be just a wee bit bigger. Cool. Okay. So we're going to do the couch here. What am I doing? Couch is here. The other couch is here. This one has kind of a little wooden thing. Okay, and this has like an arch. Goes like this. Okay, and then we've got to move this down because that's going to be a really long tail on that speech bubble. There we go. Okay, so then it's going to be her speech balloon. Her speech balloon will be something like this. Still going to be a very long bubble. Perfect. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost there. We're like about 10 minutes away from potentially having the risk game, which is pretty exciting. Okay, so there's going to be like this kind of textured wall thing that goes all the way to here. And then we need to have the we're going to have like a lamp. The lamp's going to go over here. I'm going to have the picture frame that's going to be back here. There's the bookshelf. It's going to go back here. Bookshelf will probably go pretty far. There's also like these kind of busts or sculptures that are up here. There's a picture frame here. And then there is another sculpture here. And we have 2, 3. One. How many? 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. That should be up top. And then we've got our books. Okay, this is pretty good. So we know our lighting is going to be coming from the right. So we're just going to go ahead and shade this accordingly. Gonna create like a clearer picture. And it's going to get darker as it goes back, kind of lighter as it goes forward. Sweet. We're so close, you guys. All right. One panel left to go. And this panel will be a reflection of the previous panel. So I need to have my thumbnail somewhere where I can see it. I think I'll have my thumbnail here just so I can remember my positioning. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and reflect this over here. And we'll start working on this. The first thing we need to do is, okay, we need to get rid of these speech bubbles. That'll be helpful. And I'll draw over the panel we just drew in magenta. But again, so I don't burn out, we're going to watch one more trailer, and then we're going to finish up this rough, and then we're going to play a round of Risk, which I'm excited about. So rough is almost done. Okay, so here is the trailer for Two Stories. This is the Christmas trailer, and then we'll finish up this page. All right, we're back. I am going to finish the roughs for this page. If you check it out, I think it's coming out pretty well. So I just need to finish the roughs, and then we can play a game of Risk. And all we have to do is this. Let me zoom in on the thumbnail. This panel. Oh my goodness. This panel. It's like stick figures. But that's my thumbnail. So we're going to basically have Robert getting really mad. I'm going to draw it in magenta just so that I can kind of separate it from the background that I'm already using. Okay, so now Robert's mad, and I like my gesture there. So it's going to be him. He's turned his head here. Oh, I'm going to use like a nice smudgy line. What angle do I have the head? That's good. Okay, his head's a little angled down. And he is mad. He's going to be yelling. I think that's a bit extreme. Like on roughs, I like to exaggerate a little more than I will on the final. But I want to have... Actually, I like that exaggeration there. Okay. He is furious. This guy has disrespected him in his home. About his own art, too. What the heck? Okay. And his whole posture is going to be pretty much like... Let's see that thumbnail. Okay. I like the hand being a little more... Should it be crossing her head? I think that's okay. In fact, I can have her expression kind of looking like shocked. So he is... Okay. And his... Okay. There's a couple things. So I'm going to have to move him down a little bit because I've changed his posture a little bit. Okay. I want this leg almost situated like in the same spot. And this one is moving forward. Okay. This hand back so it's a little more exaggerated. Okay. Scoot him down just a little bit so he's on the same footing. And we'll raise his arm up a little bit so that her head can be framed like right under his arm. Because I want his arm like up here. Maybe it's like this. Maybe it's more like he's kind of doing a... I think that works. I think that works even better. Okay. That works even better because that can frame above her head. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and erase this. We're going to have Robert here. Robert's mad. Robert mad. Robert real mad. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and shade this. I need to put in the text too. I should probably put in the text so we know what we're working with. Okay. Let's get back to here. Erase out the rest of Robert. Let's get the text worked out. It's okay. I will not shake your hand, sir. I will not shake your hand, sir, nor will I be in the same room with you. Nor will I be in the same room with you. Okay, so I need this to actually be split up a little bit better. I think it'll be better to have this section lower. And then we're going to basically have it say hand and sir will be on the next line, the starting of it. And then it will say, nor will I be. And then in the same room. And then with you will be under it. I think that kind of works. Okay. This is going to be up here. I think this is a really good location for it, actually. So we'll have this here. And he's going to have this. If you're just tuning in, I am working on the graphic novel Not Death But Love, The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I'm working on roughs for page 72. And then we're going to be playing a game of Risk as a reward for finishing up these things, which is kind of exciting. Okay. We have our text kind of figured out. We're going to merge that down. Now I need to have Elizabeth's going to be shocked. Oh, what am I doing? I don't need to erase her expression yet. Okay, and then she's going to be horrified. His hand is going to be down. And this hand is going to be over here. Okay. Now we're going to erase out the old. And then we're going to make it work. Oh. Okay. So now we'll do locked. There we go. And now we just have to brush it up and polish it up. Okay, so finish up elements of the background that got cut off. This is the this is that bust that was up here. This is that picture frame that was up here. Kind of a portrait or something, from what I recall. Okay, there's definitely a thing there, like a lamp. There's another portrait here. I think that's another portrait. And this is completed. Now we just have to shade it, and then we can call it a night for the roughs for this page, which is pretty cool. So if you guys tuned in and watched me kind of work on the roughs, I know my roughs take a while. A lot of people are way quicker at roughs than me. I'm a slow artist. But yeah, so that's my roughs. Important process in the scheme of things of like making comics and stuff like that. For me, it's invaluable to kind of have this information for when I get to the final. I have one other thing that I have to do, which is just fix him up just a tad bit. And then we're kind of there. So I'm going to call that a day. I'm going to call that a finished rough. I'll print it out. And then I'm going to save it. I'll turn off the thumbnail. So you guys can see it. It's saving right now. My computer is not happy. All right. Okay. So it's saving. It's at like 99% saved. I'll zoom out a little bit and turn off the thumbnail so you guys can check out the final product. Ta-da! I don't know if you guys can see that all that well, but we went ahead and roughed out this page. So I'm pretty excited. I think that'll work really well. We've got it all kind of laid out and we're ready to rock and roll onto the next roughs. But for now, what we'll do is play a game of Risk and then call it a night. So let me go ahead and I've been playing trailers a lot today, but well, let's actually save this. Hold on. Save a copy. I got to save the version of this to upload for my publisher. That's going to be under web. And we'll go ahead and save it as a JPEG. We've got one done. And we'll probably try to do another one or two tomorrow. Okay. And I've been playing a lot of trailers, but we're going to play one last trailer and then we're going to play Risk. So if you guys are down for playing Risk, please enjoy. Hold on a second. Okay. We have the JPEG saved. I will upload that later. And I'll put on a trailer again, and then we'll play Risk. World domination, global domination. Okay. Here it is. We will watch. Let's watch the Jacob's Apartment trailer one more time. Speak clearly, it seems that only in dreams can we these things we've seen and walk around breathing I don't know the part to play in this heart of mine. There's dissonant things, they split at the seams. All right, we're playing Risk Classic Fixed, classic map, and we're going to kind of play one game and then call it a night. This is just the classic map, balance splits, and the game is filling up. So we're just kind of waiting. I also need to remove the crazy brand on here. Here we go. And I'll put on the banner. The banner of Risk. Okay. Hopefully the game fills. We just need one more player. And then I'll walk you guys through it. So just so you guys know, I was for a brief period of time a master player at this. And then I've had a slew of really bad games. And so from there, I've been taken down to intermediate. And from expert back down to intermediate. So I'm slowly trying to work my way up so that I can become hopefully a grandmaster. We'll see how that goes. So I'm going to hit ready and then we'll see where it goes and I'll walk you guys through it. All right. The map is set. This is my reward. I am the first player. Let's see. I think that the best take right now would be to go for England. Red is going to be a bit of a problem, but I think I need to go for Europe. So I'm going to go for Europe. I'm going to move my 5 into that 2. That might make an enemy of yellow. But I'm going to go ahead and move that 3 to the center. And we'll see where this goes. But I think I'll make a play for Europe. Blue has asked for an alliance. I am accepting it. Blue might be making a play for the same thing because they have that 8, which is a little dangerous. They're moving that 8 into Europe. So I think I need to let that 8 go through. So I will move my 2 out of Blue's way shortly. Red should be probably going for Australia, but they're in a rough position because their 6 is kind of in the way. Maybe they move their 6 to my 2. We'll see. I think they just leave that 6 there. Red overshot. They're going to lose Australia. I'll be surprised if they hold Australia with 4 troops, with how crazy people get about Australia in this game. If they hold Australia with 3 troops, credit to them. Also credit to the players who aren't going to suicide over Australia. But I would think that if I'm yellow or if I'm green, they're going to try to take Australia. You kind of can't just guard it with a 3. They overshot. White is going for South America. Interesting play. They're overshooting too. This might not be a bad game. So white totally overextended. Green is gonna take Australia, leaving it with a 5. This is an interesting game, guys. Oh my gosh, are they gonna guard it with like a? They're gonna guard it with a 2. Green is gonna lose this game potentially. They'll move their 4 down, but oh man, no Australia, no win, right? Okay. Yellow is, I don't know. I think yellow's going for South America too. This is a weird game, guys. People are getting pretty crazy here. I think blue is a fairly competent player though, so but with how chaotic these players are playing, I'm a little nervous. Well, we'll just sort of this is frustrating because I have to move that 2 out of the way of blue, but I can't. Hopefully blue will understand. Red's 6 is making me really unhappy too, having that 6 right there. Blue just gave me a thumbs up, said I need to attack your territory. So they're going to hit that 2, I'm guessing. Hopefully they don't hit that 7. They're going to hit the 2. Okay. That's not too bad. So they want to get to they're making the play for North America. That was a fair move. Man, this is okay. Now I'm understanding why yellow went all aggro. I think yellow's mad about Australia. Does red go for like a vengeance game and just bust into green at this point? Red should probably move their 6. Their best play would be to move their 6 into North America and consolidate it with their 3s. At least they can survive a little bit. But they could go for like a war of attrition against green. Or they could stupidly like hit my troops. I don't know. I think red is lost for what to do after they lost Australia. Okay, red's going to make a play for Africa. It's not a bad place to go for. Do I let red through? I think I let red 6 through. I think my next turn I'm going to move. It sucks because I'm going to lose like 3 territories for it, but I think it's worth it. I don't know what white is doing either. White is, I think, going to play a no continent game. That's a good location to do no continent. Or they're going to make a play for North America as well. My cards are not looking too bad. It looks like I might get the 10 set on my next turn. Green more securely holds Africa now. Well done, green. Does yellow overextend like they've been doing the whole game? And hit that too? If yellow were an older player, they'd probably wait to have closed out because now they're very easy to break. But then again, to be fair, who's going to break them? I think I move my 10 here, and I'm going to be a nice guy and hopefully not regret this. Move my 6 there. Hopefully I don't regret that kind move. That's a heads up to red. Go ahead and move your 6 down into Africa so you can consolidate. Oh, blue doesn't allow for the nice move. And they keep their 6 in my territory. Okay, good. They moved it out. Blue's being a good ally. I can't cash in cards on my next turn. That's a little bit of a shame. Green's 3 is going to be a real headache in a few minutes. I wish I could move my 5 closer so that I could consolidate that, but I don't think I can. I think my 5 might very well be lost. White is in really bad shape right now. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. Trying to make a claim for North America, but they don't have the troops to do so. So if they're smart, they'll just pull back to Kamchatka. They're not going to pull back to Kamchatka. If blue has a card cash in, it's going to be really bad news. Green is consolidating more. Very smart. But staying in a spot where they can happily break our territories. Yellow holds. Do they consolidate their... Oh, yellow, I love you. That was a beautiful thing that yellow just did for me. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. Hopefully I have good rolls. And we're consolidated to 19 troops, which is fairly okay. And I can't cash in cards yet. Oh, the card luck is not so high on this. Blue having 23. Does blue annihilate white, take their cards? They should. Oh, well done. I'm going to give them a well played. Now, what they can do, what they should do is that card cash in. Oh, they didn't get a cash in. That's rough. I'm in pretty dangerous territory if green has a card cash in coming up. Red is going to collect their cards in Europe. Or not in Europe, in North America. And green is looking real solid right now. Very, very strong game from green. That was a bad roll, though. Where do they choose to get their card now? Do they consolidate? Thank God they didn't consolidate. I'm in pretty dangerous territory with green right now. I'm not going to close out. I can't close out Europe yet. I have to wait till I get a card cash in. Blue is going to have a real solid card cash in, I think, this next turn, which I think will give them pretty solidly at least most of North America. If they don't have a cash in, that could be real dangerous because they might start getting challenged for North America by red. Yellow is overextending their exterior position, which is not super smart. At this point, my best move is to I think I keep that buffer from green. And just hope they don't have a card cash in and take me out of the game for 5 cards. It's kind of dangerous territory right now. Blue did not have a cash in, so they might be challenged for North America by red if red can cash in. It's a little dangerous for blue right now. I'm liking where I'm at, but I'm worried green will have a cash in or red will have a cash in. I also didn't get 10. I only get 8, which is still good, but it's not ideal. I'm going to do my slow play for Europe. Depending. Do they have a card cash in? They have 6. So they're almost at the point where they can take me out if they have a card cash in. Green is going to go for... They're trying to do... Interesting. Green is actually going to try to take Asia. I think they will have a lot of trouble holding Asia. Yellow gets their cash in and starts moving a slow play for North America. Oh, yellow's going to eat red for their cards. Very well played. I might be out of the game at this point. Yellow could cash those in. Do they get enough to take me out? What does their cash in look like? I don't think they have enough to do it. Thank God. These are very dangerous players at this point. It's very interesting. I think at this point what we do is our very slow play for Europe. So we're going to do... I think I'll have that at like 3. Thank God. I think I got a really good... Nope. We got another 8 turn in, which isn't perfect. Yellow's vulnerable to getting attacked by blue at this point. Blue will take North America, but do they also break... Oh, that wasn't a great play by blue. So blue is going to take North America, but they leave themselves completely vulnerable to yellow. So green is the table lead. Currently, yellow is in second. Green is really angling for all of Asia, which is kind of a bold move. They're actually going to try to take Asia. Yellow is solid. Yellow probably at this point takes Africa. I'm going to make an alliance with yellow, even though it's useless. Yellow's doing a very slow play at this point. Interesting. Okay, I'm glad that I have yellow as an ally. I'm going to try something weird here. So I'm trying the slow play for Europe. Blue moves out, leaving themselves entirely vulnerable to yellow. Yellow can now start taking North America. Do they want to create a bad neighbor scenario? Green is still, I think green breaks me here. Yep. Green decides to break my continent, and they're going to go through me to break Europe. Like a dickhead. Are they going to break yellow too, or yellow's their buddy? Yellow's their buddy. Green has 48 troops, so they just cost themselves the lead by this like kind of cocky move. They're overextending. So that's a good sign. Blue is in a bad position. I might get eaten here for cards. It's only one card, though. It'd be a weird play for yellow to do. I have to be really careful. Clearly, green is in cahoots with yellow. That's what I think. I think I get eaten this next turn. I definitely get broken. I'm not quite sure what green's intention here is. I hope blue takes out the one that's on my thing, but I don't think they do. Green is going to get a huge cash in for holding that much territory. Yep, eight cards. Not super huge. Green is also at 51, and their little tirade basically cost them the lead. Green is very interested in trying to take me out of the game. Does yellow turn on me now? If yellow is smart, maybe yellow will close Africa. They should. But I think maybe they don't. Yeah, maybe they were wanting to be in a position where they couldn't get attacked by green. Yellow definitely has the upper hand here. I think yellow might eat me for my cards here. So let's find out. I'm going to let green break me one more time. I want the illusion of weakness here. I would absolutely love if blue... There you go. Thank you, blue. So green's going to make an 8 that goes through Greenland and then breaks me again. It's kind of predictable. Oh, maybe not. Green has taken North America and will not hold it. They basically might as well have given it to yellow. I almost wonder if they're working with yellow. So of course I can't let green do that. So I think what I'll do is just break just enough. Now green will break my territory if blue doesn't come and take back the US. I want blue taking the US. I don't want blue. Oh, blue is going to come for green. This is the weirdest game. Yellow is going to take North America, and then they're going to hold 3 continents pretty securely. That's a little scary. Green is really wacky about blue, so they just handed blue over. Very strange. Do I have a card turn in? I don't have a card turn in. Blue has 4 cards. Yellow gets those 4 cards from blue and North America. Green is working with yellow. There's no question. So General Sir is collaborating with green. There's just no other way about it. So green will now cash in and break my territory, most likely. And I do not have the troops to do much about it. So we're going to go ahead and watch as this happens. I think green goes out of their way to break my continent. They're going to go through yellow's 1s. Yep. Because they're collaborating. They're going to go through there and try to break Europe Yellow has 88 troops. I have 56. Yellow wins this game. At this point, yellow's best play would be to take... Well, maybe they're going to go slow. I like that 9 turn-in. That's pretty good. I think what we do here is start working in reverse. Just knowing that it's highly likely that they're collaborating, I think we need to do this. I think that's our best bet. Yellow has a card turn in on the next turn, and that's when they take North America and break my territory. Yellow's in a really good position to take me out of the game. But we're still in a position where we also really want to potentially destroy green. So I have 80 cards, or 80 troops. Yellow is at 99, so yellow is the lead, and green is very quickly losing this game. But it does seem like green and yellow were collaborating for a bit. I don't know if they were collaborating or maybe they were just allies, and as allies, they were saying, hey, attack black, attack this kid, you know, that kind of thing. I have a good card turn coming up. I have to kind of consider very carefully what I'm doing. So I think green has quit. Yeah, green just quit the game for a second. I'm not quite sure why they would do that, but now they're back in. Yellow's going to start eating at my territory now. This might be where they break Europe. Or maybe they just take a card. Okay, yellow's not too bad. They're pretty conscious of the game balance. So the balance of the game is a really important thing to consider. And right now I have 99 troops. Yellow is still in the lead at 106. Green is at 55. Green is going to have a cash in pretty soon, but they're running out of cards, which might make them act desperate. When somebody's entirely card blocked like that, they can get a little erratic. But they literally can't collect cards, which means this next turn is probably when yellow starts making their attack on me. Potentially. Yellow's in a pretty good position to attack. They keep quitting and then coming back to the game. So this General Sir likes to kind of quit out when they don't know what to do, let the robot handle it. It's an interesting technique, I guess. My cards are not looking so good. Yellow could take out green. Yellow instead attacks me. Game over. Yellow has just said their alliance is over. They're going to take 2 cards from me for some reason. Notice they haven't touched green at all. So green and yellow are definitely collaborating. For sure. That's a very strange move from yellow. Yellow is going to take out my 21 now. And then let green eat the rest of my cards. So they've been collaborating this whole game. That's a shame. I knew there would be an attack coming, but I think right now, let's see. What does yellow want from me? Yellow wants me to have a lot of cards. But they're also holding 2 territories. So I think what we do right now is be a pain in their butt. I should have probably not even gotten... So see how green... Yeah. This is very strange. Very strange game. Does yellow break green now? I don't think they do. Technically, if they're trying to win this game, I think they should break green. But I think that they're collaborating, which is pretty obvious. They're also like taking 10 years to move their 33. So they break green. Interesting. So maybe they aren't collaborating? But now they've given the game to green. So weird. I can't cash in my cards. So good job, green. You got I just, this is the most baffling game. So at this point I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I think green eats me on this turn. Gets 4 cards, closes out the game. Green can't be happy about yellow taking their beloved Australia, though. So there's a chance. It's bizarre that they're kind of waiting so long to make plays. They bought it out again. So they just bought it out. It's the most fascinatingly weird game. Yellow has a cash in coming in. Very strange game right now. Is green back from botting out and cheating? No. Does yellow have a turn in? Yellow's playing really erratically and weird. So I think at this point, maybe we just start. What can we do here? Did green come back from cheating? No. Oh, I love that card turn in. Did green come back from cheating? No. Okay. I don't think yellow's a seasoned player at this point. I just don't. They're playing so erratically. It's hard to imagine that this is like it's just like chaos play. But that's okay. This will be fun. This is going to be real fun. Oh, I'm so looking forward to this. Okay. So yellow has like 2 troops. Assuming that green doesn't come back, I think we're in okay standing here. Okay, yellow's kind of playing like a jackass. Don't think they quite know what they're doing, so that's good. And we have a really good card turn in. So let's get yellow out of here and just hope that green doesn't come back like the cheat McCheat that they are. Yellow will have a card turn in. Did green come back? No, green didn't. Like the cheat pants. Now yellow's going to get like quite a few cards, so they're going to break some of my territory, but I don't think they can break it all. This is kind of an end game strategy. The only problem is going to be if green comes back after kind of botting out and cheating. But it's let's see, I have 26. They have 24, so there is a chance I lose now. There's a really good chance I lose now. Or not. Yellow misplays? I hope they have bad rolls. Don't get there. Don't get there, yellow. And that was their last card. 23-19. I love it. Yellow is done. Did green come back? No. This is going to be good. Potentially. Okay, so we got a 5 card. So at this point, we need to just clear as many cards as we can. So we're going to go ahead and clear here, clear here, clear here, clear here. We'll see how long we can last here. 19 to 19, and they have a territory. That's the downside. This is getting real close. I might lose this game. And I have the worst card turn in, which will be followed by their very good card turn in. So I probably lose this game. Hmm. Oh, I don't get a card turn in, so I'm screwed. This game is definitely over. Did Cheaty McCheat Pants come back? No. The sad thing is this isn't a seasoned player that I'm playing against either, so I'm definitely going to lose some ranking on this. They're definitely trying something. I think they'll have a card turn in the next turn. But they have their animations on too. Like, it's not a seasoned player I'm playing against here. So my bad luck continues. Darn it. Like, how come they don't have bad rules? What the hell, man? Yeah, it's 25 to 12, so I'm pretty much done. Because I don't have a card turn in on my next turn, so. And I only have 3 cards, so I can't break their territories. They're going to get a huge cash in. This game is over. And that's not even a turn in. What the hell? Oh, wait, it is. But they're going to have way too many. Yeah, it's over. Because I have 14. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm calling it too soon. They just need some bad rolls like that. They can't take me out. That's good. How many do they have? 29, though. Okay. But they're clearly not a seasoned player. We still have a chance, you guys. They're going to have a crazy card turn in after this, though. So what I need to do is go after the big stuff. Okay. Here it comes. I should focus on the territories that I can get. Yeah, I'm done. They're going to have a crazy cash in here. This game will be over soon. They don't have a card cash in, though. That's fascinating. They will have a card cash in on the next turn, though, so this game is over. Okay. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. I don't want Australia. I don't care about Australia right now. But I'm only going to get 3 cards here. Yeah, this game is done. Well, let's just break what we can. We'll go ahead and break here, break here, break here. And let's see. If we can keep them separated, that would be good. I'd love to break Australia from them, but it's just a dying play. Yeah, this game's done. This is where they cash in and close it. And again, I didn't get 3 cards I can play. Definitely not a seasoned player. They have 5 cards, though. They have to cash in. Yeah, that's where the game ends. All right, let's end this game. Well done. I'll just say good game. I guarantee you this player is like beyond new. And I don't have cards to cash in, so even if they run out of time, this game's over. Well, thank you for watching, you guys. I continue to have terrible luck at this game. When this wraps up, we'll see how good each of the players is. Kind of strange. It felt like green and yellow were kind of collaborating a bit. So they said well played, but I think they've got to be a newer player. So let's see. Hopefully they're really high ranking. We got no battle points. Wow, yellow was an expert. Okay. So that's good. We don't lose tons of points. I remain intermediate and on my goal to become a master. So that wasn't too bad. All right, guys. That's going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and turn in for the night. Thanks for hanging out with me on my live stream, and I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.